So, speed is of the essence when it comes to getting designs to your client. They really don't want to wait weeks to see stuff from you. So if you can win them over early in the project, you're going to gain their trust, and then you're going to have a better chance to maintain a solid creative working relationship with them, which is exactly what you want. And by speed, I don't mean turn out any old piece of crap and hope that they like it, because they're not going to. I mean streamline your workflow so that you can get designs out quicker. So I want to show you how to be quick with Styleframe iterations between Illustrator and Photoshop. This is going to be a great tool for you. So I'm going to begin my Styleframe here. As you can see, I'm using a still from the raw plate of footage from the sequence I'm going to be working on. Image size, you can work full res or half res proxy, whatever your machine can handle. It's important to find out from your client what their delivery resolution is and what they're masking for, whether it be 235 or 185, etc. So this is going to determine your working space. Aaron's delivery is 1920 by 1080. However, he is masking for 233, so my working area is 1920 by 823. So keeping things clean and simple in the workflow, I'm going to be working at the end output resolution the whole time. But for whatever reason, if your machine can't handle a layered file at full res, then make your proxy style frame at about 60% of the full resolution. So I'm just going to switch on a few of the layers that I created to give this footage a bit of a grade, a bit of a look. It looks a bit dull without some kind of treatment to the footage. So imagine what this robot's camera would display like. What does it see? Desaturated greens and reds, kind of a video industrial look. Play with the contrast and get something you like. So I'm switching over here, and you can see already I've started to build the graphics bible in Illustrator. I know it looks very simple, but military HUDs are very geometric and made up of lots of simple shapes. Again, this isn't alien tech. You know, if it was, then this page would look very different than it does now. You're going to be almost sketching in vector here, so keep things loose. Pull in your reference images so you can directly reference the elements from them that you like. I'm adding some of the typographic elements here using the reference. Some of these elements you're going to use in Photoshop, some of them in After Effects, but for the time being just add to this file as you go. It's going to be your reference for the entire project, especially if you're working with a team of artists. For example, they're going to need to know what font you're using. Here we're using Terminus, by the way, which is a free online font and great for military design. So your team would need to know the graphic style and direction that's been established, otherwise they've got no point of reference. So a document like this will give them direction. Once again, you're directing the art of the project here, exactly what an art director is supposed to do. So you can really see here that having good reference or having a good reference library really gives you a great starting point for building your graphics. Remember, you're only sketching here, so try not to be too rigid. It's just early broad stroke ideas, so try not to censor yourself just yet. You can see here I'm building a reticule target graphic from the shapes we sketched out earlier. Then you can copy straight from this file into Photoshop as I'm doing here. They can go into smart objects, that way you can rescale them if need be later. Start to build the layers up. So keep building these layers up. Even though the shapes and text we've created is simple looking, when combined with multiple layers of the same stuff, it's really going to give us a complex look. It's going to be like a plethora of data. It will really bring the image to life. And again, I don't mean clutter the screen with useless info and graphics, but let's try and make this HUD look like it could actually exist. Keep going until you're happy with the way it looks, and then use this image as a starting point for your next design, your next iteration. Use it as a springboard to create something new. So you can see here I have a couple of other iterations pre-built for this tutorial, and they all follow the same thread. You can see I'm not going off on crazy tangents. I know exactly what the client is looking for, so I'm being mindful of the direction of the design. I created 3 designs for the first round. Aaron's responded to image 2 very favourably, so I did 3 more based off that second image. You can see here they all have similarities, more similarities than the first bunch. These iterations took me several hours. I didn't want to slow us down by showing the build of each individual image. I think you get the idea already about how to build a good style frame for this type of project. This last image here is our winner, so we can move on to animation. So you can see this is a great and fast way to generate ideas, and graphically you're recycling your designs, nothing is wasted. If the client approves this design, you already have the graphics built in Illustrator and you've got no need to recreate any of it. It's a fast way of working with minimal waste of time. It's very important not to waste time. I know that sounds obvious, but sometimes you will have 12 hours to turn around several design revisions, so time is of the essence again. This type of approach can really help you save some time.